Hi, Jim Ziegler, the Alpha Dawg, and we've got another incredible broadcast for you today. Three of my long term friends in the auto industry, we're going to talk about how to beat independent repair shops. We're talking about all these little repair shops on the corner are just knocking you out in Google. I mean, the searches aren't happening. And from Search Engine MD, one of the foremost experts in the universe, my friend Cody Jerry. Hi, Cody.
Hey, how's it going?
You ready to do this?
Absolutely.
Fantastic. And from Generations Digital, another old friend of mine. Well, you're not that old, but I mean a long-term friend of
Getting
mine,
there.
George Nenni. Hey, George.
Hey, Jim. Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for being here. And from the Klaben Auto Group in Kent, Ohio, Richard Klaben himself. Hi, Rich.
How are you? Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for being here. I mean, we're honored to have you on the broadcast. So let's start out with Cody. Cody, what are we talking about today? What is beat the independent repair shops? Why is that important?
So, beating the independent repair shops is all about taking advantage of the searches that are out there. There's people looking for auto repair, your city name, and things like that. And right now, it's just dominated by independent repair shops that you can beat.
Okay, you're talking about the search ranking in Google, right?
Yeah. So, when somebody Googles that, right now, your dealership probably shows up way down on the list of things. And these are just adjustments you can make that can get you to show up at the top of those search results.
Well, most dealers already have a handle on that. They've got multiple pages on the websites related to service, right?
They do have multiple pages, but they tend to say the same thing as all their competitors. So making those adjustments so you have unique content and actual relevant content helps.
Unique content. Tell us about that, George.
Well, if you have duplicate content, then Google ignores it. If you have unique content, then Google rewards it. If you have unique content that people like and people tend to click on, then Google likes it a lot. But Jim, I heard a recent speaker make a statement, and it's just really stuck with me. And it says, when you go to buy something today, purchasing starts with search at either Amazon, Google, but that's a reality, right? There's no more yellow pages and white pages. When we go to buy something, most of us start with Google search, don't we?
I'll tell you, my mother passed away, but before she passed away, as old as she was searching for everything. I mean, you go to the retirement communities; they're all on their laptops. So everybody's on search. But the independent repair shops. Why is it important that we beat the independent repair shops? Talk to me about that.
Sure. So what? A lot of our presentation will talk about Google Business Profile, which is the old Google My Business. Google automatically creates these listings for all businesses that they see out there. And so dealerships may be losing to a sophisticated repair shop that's really, monitoring their Google My Business and paying attention to it and feeding photos and reviews to it. But they're also losing to independent repair shops that have no idea that they even have a Google profile. They're just out there doing a good job, and the dealer's not setting up a separate profile for their service. So this independent shop is just showing up number one, two,
They're getting good. They're getting
attention.
good reviews. They're doing their job. They're prevalent in the community. Rich, how do you fit into this equation?
Well, dealers, we historically haven't done a good job there because we're preoccupied with the sales side. And we
Absolutely.
we think the service side is a given. And now more than ever, I've always believed in the fixed op side of the business, but now more than ever, that's where our customers come from. That's where we build our customers. So when you're dealing, our competitors in the, especially in the independent repair, any of these big chains, this is all they do, and they spend a lot of money, and they're focused on it.
It's all they do. And you know what? You know what else, Rich?
They're taking our customers.
I have a statistic, and most speakers make up statistics on the spot. 97.8% of all general managers came out of the sales department.
Well, yes, I started in the service department. and you know what? It's the greatest foundation in the world because that's where your customers come from. You have a lot more interactions, and we need to retain customers who are keeping their cars longer. It's not just a revenue stream.
Why are they keeping their cars longer?
Because cars are expensive. and they'll last longer. And so we're seeing
They
10-year-old
last
cars.
longer. They're
Right.
expensive.
We're seeing 10-year-old cars, and people are spending thousands of dollars on them to keep them even longer. And we don't think like that because we're sellers of cars. But it's not just the revenue stream. The only way that we can create loyal customers is by having interactions with them. We only sell them a car every so often, but we service them very often.
And you're going to be talking about this at Digital Dealer. Your session is May 10th at 9 o'clock in the morning, correct? Yeah. So at 9 o'clock, that's Tuesday, May 10th. Digital Dealer Tampa is going to be the 9th, 10th, and 11th. Tampa, Florida, digitaldealer.com. And your session is titled How to Beat Independent Repair Shops on Google. I mean, you can't more define the session than the title.
That's a fact.
The title says it all. Well, Google is the weapon. The website is now the showroom. Google is the weapon. And George mentioned Google My Business, which is now called Google Profiles. Why is that important?
I'll go first. I mean, it's important because, well, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, George.
I'm too eager here. 100% of the time, a product, a service, or donuts, or semi trucks, or oil changes, Google will always return either one or multiple Google Business Profiles, like the local pack of 3 or a single listing. That's compelling, man, and that really changes the landscape of SEO.
So the pack is more important than the number one position. Cody?
Being in the pack is important because a lot of people won't continue to click on. Yep. Sorry.
Cody, his shirt says it all. Search Engine MD. Okay.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's definitely the case. Even if there's a search result that pops up above the local results, people tend to just gravitate right towards that local pack because they feel it's the most relevant. It's actually local to them. It's useful to them. They can click there. They can call you, get directions, or you can go directly to your website. So it is definitely good real estate.
I'm told you don't even need a website half the time if you've got a great Google My Business Google profile.
I've seen a couple of reports from George that would probably say that might be true. Actually, he has some awesome reports.
Now Rich is over there shaking his head. Tell me about it, Rich.
Well, it's the truth. We've been directed by all these vendors in the wrong direction. It really comes down to relevance. And so, the consumers are smart now. They know that a lot of those gimmicky and the ads, and so they're looking for what's most relevant to their search. And it makes a huge difference. So it's where I wish I could go back 20 years and I'd be better at what I'm doing. But with guys like this, we're getting better.
Okay, so you're doing business with these guys, and let me ask you a question. You are here because you are using these processes in your own dealership. Tell me about your results.
Well, we don't have long-term results yet, but we're seeing the numbers. We're seeing the increase in appointments. I believe in it. I know that for it to work, this is not something that we're going to measure 30 days from now and say, oh yeah, it was a super success.
Show me appointments, show me dollars on the books, show me ROs, right?
Exactly. And it's going to take time to get there, but we're seeing it. We got the whole team. Everybody understands it. We agree. This is a great thing. And we need to compete there. We need to compete there. We have a quick lane operation, and we do 75% non-Ford Lincoln at our quick lane operation. I'm from fixed ops, and I'm amazed at the money that gets spent on 10-year-old cars with 100,000 miles. We're not seeing them in our main service lane. We're saying goodbye to these folks. We need to bring them back in. We need to get them used to coming back to us.
Cars with 100,000 miles is not uncommon today.
No, it's common, and they're getting more expensive.
Oh my gosh! I just saw a Chevrolet truck that starts at $100,000.
Sure.
Absolutely. So Digital Dealer, what is the outline of what you will be sharing with the people at Digital Dealer? I'll start with George. Give me a point-by-point outline.
Sure. Yeah, so first we're going to frame it up, and we're going to get it at a 30,000-foot level, and we'll help show dealers the problem. And if dealers do nothing else from our session but just follow along with us and Google their dealership and search for fixed ops terms in their market and see where they rank. And if they rank low, which most dealers do, then they can watch our easy steps. The second part will be going through and showing
Oh,
them
you're
how
gonna
to set
wait,
up. Okay, we
George,
identified the
George, George,
problem.
George. You're gonna walk them through on their handhelds and look at their own dealerships and see how they rank.
Sure, it's an easy test to do.
Fantastic. I interrupted you, but that struck me as important. Go
Oh,
ahead.
you're good. Yeah. And then we will lay out really our two-pronged strategy. One prong is Google My Business, Google Business Profile. The other is traditional SEO. And Cody will go through. That'll feel a little bit under the hood. He'll show some of the technical workings that he did. But everyone's going to get the slide deck. You could easily hand that off to your SEO company or to your agency and have them reproduce it. And then at the end, and no one has seen these results yet, in the end, we will unveil the final results from the test, which we will kind of condense and bottle up in the days prior to Digital Dealer to make sure we give all the last results, and then you will recap and show dealers how they can do this themselves.
Cody, what is your part in this?
We helped implement this strategy and came up with the original strategy for it on the website side of things. So we're going to show you the key indicators, the ranking factors associated with all this, and what you can do at the dealership to do this yourself. We don't want this to be some unique thing where you have to hire us. There's a process here
that is so important. Listen, folks. Pay attention. Pay attention. You don't have to hire these people to implement the techniques they're going to be showing you how to secure this additional revenue. That's huge. You ever see the movie Home Alone?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. That's awesome.
It's absolutely great. Okay. Rich,
so I'm going to be there to my part is to say this is real. You pull the curtain back. There's nothing behind door number one. That people aren't going to talk to you like that they know more than you do and you can't do it and you don't know what you're doing. There's no smoke and mirrors. This is just basic business, basic blocking and tackling, and this is going to be a benefit to anybody who and it's it makes it real. This isn't something you gotta hire some high-paid agency to do for you that knows less than you do and really isn't doing the job you think they're doing.
There's a lot of smoke and mirrors and a lot of people out there today that have a ton of Facebook credentials, but they don't have any real world experience. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, Digital Dealer, Tampa, Florida, May 9th, 10th, and 11th. One of the great sessions, how to beat the independent local repair shops on Google. How to be found, how to be recognized, how to beat the competition. Don't miss this session. Wave goodbye, guys.